morning. Lessons learned. I will be sharing my lessons I learned from last week, starting with emotional attachments can lead to fear of achieving goals. When you have an emotional attachment to something, you don't take action. Okay? This is my lesson. It may be yours or not, but that's what I've learned. If I have an emotional attachment to something, then I will be very hesitant to. I will procrastinate, honestly. So I invite you to check that out. Like, do you have an emotional attachment to the thing? Is that why you haven't started it yet? If that's why you haven't did anything, period, yet, because you have emotional attachments to things. So number 2, take time to sit and do nothing. Take time to sit and do nothing. I was so tired last week from our work trip, and I just said, you know what? I don't want to do anything. I just want to rest. Went to bed early. It took me some time to catch up on my rest. Nevertheless, I wasn't forcing myself or pushing myself to do things that I didn't have the capacity to do. It's okay to just sit and be still and do nothing in quietness and stillness. That's whenever you rest, you rejuvenate and you come back more creative, more with ideas. Listen, I needed that rest because I'm ready to go now. Number 3, information overload can lead to analysis paralysis. There are so many things that I haven't invested in. There's so much information that I was consuming, and it began to be overwhelming, and I began to do nothing. It was so much information. And so I have to limit my information intake. So like Monday through Thursday, I'm listening to different things. I'm learning different things. And on Friday, when I'm working, I pretty much just sit in silence. I may listen to a book or something like that, maybe. But the majority of the time, that's my day. That's my day to just detox from all the stuff I've consumed. That's my day to just let things process. Because a lot of times we're getting all this information and we're not doing anything with it. You don't need to sign up for another course. You don't need to, get into another whatever if you have not done anything with the first stuff that you already have, right? So number 4, the person you're most equipped to help is the person you used to be. A lot of times when it comes to our purpose and what we're supposed to be doing, one of my purposes, I know, is to help the person I used to be, because that I am most equipped to help the person I used to be. I know who that person is because I once was that person. So I invite you, if you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, look back at the person you used to be. And maybe you can share some experiences, some lessons from the time when you were that person. That is all I do. That is all I do. And I also share about things that I'm learning now, because the person who I used to be, this person needs somebody. They're looking for someone who has this wisdom, who has information, who knows things that they don't know, right? So I also do that as well. So I invite you to check in with that. The person you're most equipped to help is the person that you used to be. Nobody know you like you knew you. And the 4Q stops so many of us in our lives, and we don't even realize it. The 4Q. I'm going to break it down. That's emotional intelligence. That's spiritual intelligence. That's relational intelligence. That's leadership intelligence. Those are the areas, I call them snipers. Those are the areas that snipe people, because a lot of people may not even know what this stuff is. What is emotional intelligence? What is relational intelligence? What is leadership intelligence? What is spiritual intelligence? Though that's the next level. Like, say you're intaking all this information. So now what do you do with it? One of the key snipers is one of this area you're being sniped in, whether that's emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, leadership intelligence, or relational intelligence. This area here, we must invest in this area if we want our lives to get better, if we want our relationships to get better, if we want our understand our emotions, understand the emotions of others, if we want our spiritual life to get better, if we want our leadership. And you don't have to be a leader in a company, because you're leading yourself. If you can't lead yourself well, you can't lead anybody else. So let me give you the definition of spiritual intelligence. Let me just give you some information about it, right? Spiritual intelligence makes you sensitive to divine promptings that often helps you differentiate between what is foolish and what is fake. And what is foolish without prompting is divine with one. Okay, that's spiritual intelligence. Emotional intelligence, self-awareness and self-management. Emotional intelligence, I know this definition by heart, is the ability to understand your emotions and the emotions of others and recognize the emotions of others. This area here, when I'm talking to people, I know when they are triggered. I know when they are upset. I know when they're upset. I know when they're in their feelings, right? I see this because I am aware of my own emotions and I'm able to recognize that in others. That's something right there that we need, all right? You didn't even know you need it. Relational intelligence helps you identify who is your greatest asset for a particular predicament. So relational intelligence, I'm going to give you the definition of that because it's one of the ones I talk about often. It's the ability to align and define your relationships and put people in the right place in your life. Those are friends, associate assignments, and advisors. A lot of times, this lack of knowledge in this area, we have people in the wrong place in our lives. I can't trust nobody, and they ain't my friend, or they my friend, and they did this, and then you got them in the wrong place. They're friends, associate assignments, and advisors. And those people, we have to put them in the right seat on your bus of life, because you can't put a friend in you can't put an associate in a friend category. An associate, you just poured into them. They can never pour into you. They're never going to be they're never going to be to you what you are to them. It's a one-sided relationship. They're coming to learn something from you. Okay? They can't give you anything. They have nothing to give you. They don't have the capacity to do that. A lot of times we expect people to give us some stuff that they don't have. So that's another story. Anyway, leadership intelligence, because I can go on and on about that area there. It affects us though. Look at your relationships. Are your relationships suffering? Something to invest in, right? Something to check out, to learn about. Leadership intelligence. 3 key assets in overcoming analysis paralysis, leadership traits. So leadership is about the ability to lead yourself well, right? And if in order to lead others well, you got to lead yourself well. What does that look like? Making the right decisions, right? Thinking about what you're doing before you're doing it. Being decisive, having focus, and having vision. Okay, so those are some of the areas I wanted to cover when it came to that. There's more, but I want to give you that a little bit today. And then there was my last but not least lesson. The spirit must be fed daily. I can tell when people are not feeding their spirit based on what they're saying, based on how things are going through them. Because when you feed your spirit, things don't go through you. You go through it. You go through those storms, and you come out fine. You walk through fire. You come out fine. You don't come out smelling like smoke. You don't come out burnt, right? Because you know who is with you, because you've been feeding your spirit. And what does that look like? Feeding the spirit. So that's prayer. That's scripture. Okay. That's spiritually uplifting music. So my question to you, how often are you feeding your spirit? Sunday's not enough for me. I feed my spirit daily. And I've been doing this for the past 5 years, y'all. Daily. I'm talking about I'm listening to sermons, I'm listening to worship music, I'm attending Bible I'm in a group called Bible U, and they break the Bible down and help you understand it. Like, that's how much I literally, it's a goal of mine, and this has been a goal of mine for the past 5 years. So I make that a part of my plan. So I don't have my book over here. I have set emotional goals, I set spiritual goals. And then I have professional goals, and I have health-wise, I have goals from as far as pertains to my health. So those are areas that I make sure that I am pouring into, that I'm getting poured into in those areas. Okay. So that's a little secret of mine I wanted to share with y'all. But yeah, these are my lessons. So I hope they are helpful. You got any comments or feedback? I would love to hear it. Have an amazing week, y'all.